Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragna Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneur TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, the creator of Coral Desk, and the coach of the Changemakers. My mission is to empower through education, and thank you very much for joining us. Today, I have the honor to talk with Adrija Biswas, a corporate leader, visionary, motivational speaker, innovator, singer, humanitarian, philanthropist, and beauty queen, Mrs. India UK Universe 2019. So without any further ado, Adria, your story is very impactful. I was going through your biography, and I think you are one person who also walks what she talks, in a sense that you don't help others or you don't teach others something that you haven't gone through yourself. So tell us who you are and what is your purpose and passion in life.
Thank you, Ragni. It's an absolute honor to be here on this show with you. And thank you for the warm introduction. Who am I is a very interesting start of my story. And I take myself back to that really beautiful fall morning in New York City, almost 11 years back now, almost 19 years back now, in 2001, 9/11. So I'm a 9/11 survivor. And for me, from that day onwards, life completely changed. That one moment transformed my life, and I started believing in miracles. And I knew that I was one of the lucky survivors, and I had a purpose in life. And my purpose was to pay forward my life and my blessing and spread hope and happiness in abundance, whatever I did and wherever I went. So in my passion is that I seek a world where women are able to recreate their stories against all odds, no matter their past, their challenges that they've gone through, that they can recreate and make their lives beautiful. And the reason I am such a big believer and so passionate about it is because I myself, I've done it. So I told you about my transformation when 9/11 happened, and I started looking at people and things with a very positive lens, that life is a blessing, life is a miracle. I don't think I was expecting my personal 9/11s, because ever since I went through lots of personal challenges. I was a survivor of domestic violence. And nobody would have thought that I would have gone through. I have 3 degrees from 3 different continents, but it happened to me. So, and I didn't realize the signs and I didn't see it coming. So for me, when I've gone through all of those ups and downs and I hit rock bottom, there was only one way up for me, which was moving upwards. But the only way I could have done it was with my parents and my sibling that came there to help me. But I was lucky that I had these amazing organizations like we have today, with Loani and people, women like you, Ragni, that are spreading the awareness and are empowering women. I'm not sure I had all of that back then, other than just my parents and siblings. So what I want to do is empower women to see that no matter the challenges that you're going through, and you will hit rock bottom at some point of time, you can always have the power to get out of it and to recreate your stories. So today I'm here in front of you, not just as a corporate leader, as a motivational speaker, but also doing some of the impossible things that I dreamed in life, like being a beauty queen and being the voice of many vulnerable women that don't have the platform to speak on their behalf and carry forward my mission.
How would you say, or how would you describe yourself, or how do you distinguish yourself personally and also professionally?
I think I would distinguish myself mainly with my attitude. I have a very, very positive can-do attitude, and I look at people and I look at things with a very positive lens. And I'm in a global role in my work sector, and I work with employees and my colleagues from all over the world. I have lived and studied and worked in multiple countries. So I'm a very diverse and a multinational person. So for me, both personally, I'm married to a British, I am of Indian origin, but I think embracing different cultures and being able to work together, collaborate, and seeing the best in people and bringing the best out of them is what differentiates me. And I'll give you examples. Like when I was working, so the work culture in New York or being in America was very different to when I moved to the UK. And I've worked with teams in Southeast Asia and Manila, and I'm now working with teams in LATAM. Culturally, there is so much to learn. And what I do is all about acceptance. So if you accept people from diverse cultures, different skill sets, different abilities, and create an inclusive and diverse environment, and respect people for who they are, what they bring to you, no matter what background, what race, what religion they are from. My motto in life is be positive about people, about things, and accept people for who they are, and most importantly, respect them. Because if you start doing that, not only personally at home, you start creating a loving family, you then start creating a loving society, loving nations, loving global organizations, and soon it's a ripple effect, and everybody starts feeling that positive aura.
Actually, just the other day we were talking about the education and the needs of education today, and I think where we also as society need to get an agreement is that sometimes the things that we teach to our kids intellectually are not really connecting them with their emotional intelligence, which is nowadays, as we know, the main drive how to succeed, and especially in the times of like we are really going through today. Then I'm totally agreeing with spreading the love, and not the way that let's say that we go around and hope that everything takes care of itself, but just to we can do so much by changing our attitude, and as you said, accepting people as they are. I think that's the main reason why people get so frustrated, because they want everything to be as their expectation was, and never going really to the other side of the story. There's also expectations which are not met, or needs are not met, etc., etc. So it's very interesting. Tell us a little more about your corporate background. So I know that going through your biography, I saw different degrees on business. So what's driving you in a corporate world?
I've always been into academics, and whilst I did my career in engineering, so I have masters in wireless and telecommunication, I strived to be an engineer, and I moved direction. So what I bring is both lenses. As I said, right, I look at life and people with multiple lenses, because there is not just one side of a person, there are multiple sides. Even in my corporate world, I bring in my technology hat, which is my engineering hat, and my management hat. So I've also got an MBA from Warwick Business School in UK, and a master's in engineering from Columbia University, New York. And I bring both these lenses together to solve business problems, and as well as build more inclusive work environments for my colleagues and my teams. Interesting. Whilst you bring this up, I'm an innovator, so I have come up with an app as well. So I'm, very proud about patenting it, and it's a feather on my cap. But when 9/11 happened as well, I wanted to give back to society. And whilst I'm not into engineering anymore, I'm very humbled to say that during 9/11, you know, when the FDNY, the fire department, and the New York police department, they were not able to communicate with each other because they were on different frequencies. I was part of the Columbia University research lab that came up with the sensor networks and the disaster recovery protocols, which are now being leveraged in America and I'm sure globally as well. So I feel like that's like my small contribution back to society. And today we are so much better prepared in disaster recovery protocols and sensor networks. What motivates me today is people. So I am a global head of cash and checks in one of the leading banks. And whilst I'm looking at, so, you know, currently in COVID-19, countries like Sweden have become cashless. But would UK or other countries become cashless, we still have to look into our vulnerable customers and so on. So I like looking at the changing behaviors of our customers and how can we continue to give them relevant experiences in every day of their lives. So that's what keeps me motivated, our customers and the people that I work with. They come with different backgrounds, different skills, and what I love doing the best is matching their strengths so I can leverage their strengths and I can overcome any weakness that they have and learn more.
So if someone would ask you, can you give us some recommendations how to really create the inclusive environment in our offices, especially when maybe someone who is leading a team of multicultural, diverse teams? What advice would you give to that person?
Being an inclusion and diversity ally, I would definitely say create an inclusive environment where you celebrate diversity. Right? If everybody thought the same and brought the same idea on the table, then we'd never ever be able to innovate. So let people's creativity, give them the freedom of speech and let them be creative and harbor an inclusive and diverse environment. Secondly, I would say, please look after your team's mental health, because that's a really, really important topic that we all need to be mindful of. I know in the past, it was all about taking sick leaves when somebody was physically ill or, you know, had a running temperature. But now, as leaders, we are more aware of people's mental health and their well-being. And finally is always be creative, always be bold, and always be positive. Concentrate, because the world is changing and people's behaviors are changing. So we need to constantly change and adapt new ways of working. So for example, in COVID-19, who would have thought that 98% of our colleagues would be working from home and we're still operationally so successful? So it's like always constantly find new ways of working.
Yes, and I think the creating healthy habits while doing it, is also something that we might need to remember ourselves, because all what's happening is basically we have been really comfortable living the very quick and comfortable life, and unfortunately that has not really worked out now. But tell me a little more about the projects that you are involved today. I know that you mentioned that you're very passionate about empowering women and a lot of other activities like foundations and everything that you are involved. Can you tell us more about those?
Yes, and I'll probably touch upon a point that you made a few minutes back, Ragni, about educating our next generation. And that's, I think, a very, very key element to break any cycle of abuse or any cycle of violence, or if we want to make a change, the key thing is to also educate our next generation. So not only at home, where I am teaching my daughter to be fearless and I'm teaching my son to respect women, but I'm also working with children in the society and education systems to imbibe all these core values, because intelligence is not just academic intelligence. And sadly, there are still many children that bully other children, which, as part of the mental health ally that I'm working with, is that as much as your children are becoming academically intelligent, if you don't imbibe emotional intelligence in them, if we don't teach our children that it's okay that, some children are quiet and some are loud and some are academically great and some may be great in other fields. They're great artists, great musicians, great in drama. We have to accept them and we have to respect them for who they are. And that also includes the LGBT community, because the more we are encouraging them to come out and step out in the open, we have to teach our generations to accept them and give them the love that they deserve. So there is a lot I'm working around mental health. So, not only children understand how to treat other children, but we as adults are also conscious. We're emotionally intelligent about other people's life, other people's circumstances, and where they are coming from. Additionally, I'm also a domestic violence ambassador for Luani, Ladies of All Nations International. So it's a global organization. And as part of that, I'm very, very proud to be, taking forward the torch and working with women globally to help them recreate their stories. So I'm spreading awareness. What are the signs of violence? Strangely, Ragne, a lot of women just don't even understand the signs, and I'm one of them. So I'm guilty, and that's why when I tell women that, do you understand what the different signs are? What are the different types of violence? People only think, oh, I've got scars, and I've got a scar to tell that I'm a survivor. But physical scars are just one element of it. There is psychological abuse, emotional, mental, financial abuse. There is all different levels of abuse, and not just between partners, but children go through abuse. Parents go through abuse from their children, where they're sent over to care homes. Then there is gender-based violence, as well as honor killings. So all of these different types of violence, I try to raise awareness, but I also try to raise the tolerance, that how do we as a society stop the violence? How do we recognize these signs? So I do a lot of awareness sessions where I'm talking that, it's great that I can rescue a woman and I can build the confidence for her so that she can restart her life. But if I don't change the society, and if I can't change their thinking, then it will continue. So I'm encouraging people that, friends, families, watch out for these signs and help these women, these children come out of these situations. But also don't be judgmental. Give them the time. I think the most important healing factor is time. So one of the projects that I'm doing under Rise and Shine Again is to help build the confidence back for these women. And I've done fitness boot camps where I'm teaching them to become physically fit again, because if you're physically fit, you can look after your mental health as well. Doing Zumba classes. So keep yourself active, re-engage in activities that make you happy. Recovering is not going to happen overnight. And there are times when we will take 10 steps forward, but we may take 5 steps back. But it's okay. Be kind to yourself and take however long you need to recover. I'm also working with health and wellness ambassadors, where we're doing classes about how do you look after your mental health, how do you look after your well-being, and so on. And finally, it's about spiritual awakening. So learning to forgive, but not forget, and learning to make our inner selves much more stronger. We cannot control what's happening outside us, Ragne, right? Like, we've got COVID-19 happening. We've got so many things that just gets dropped up upon us. But if we know how to control our thoughts and our emotions, and how do we react to these situations, that we can become much more stronger. So I also look into personal transformation, which is making our inner selves so strong that we are capable of handling all situations externally.
Well, I think in order to really make a difference there, we really need to go back to the schools, because until there is no gender equality, and we are actually raising our girls with a mindset that the other gender is going to be always stronger, always having more privileges than us, then this is the mindset, that this is the heart that we have already been growing up with that. And just yesterday I had very interesting interview with someone from Spain, which is an activist for the gender equality, and she was very right, telling that until we really are able to have our school books, which are which are transmitting gender equality, where we see girl and boys in the same book, when we see boys doing the same chores that the girls are doing, where we see that there are no sort of other types of role than rather to be biologically a mother to a child. No, the rest doesn't matter what gender you are. We all are capable to do it, but it's sort of it goes back to our epigenetics, that we really we grow up with the idea that that's the way it always has been, and who am I to change that? So we already have this error inside us, and we always seek for this sort of maybe like the approval for everybody and whatever we do. And we just if you see how many women are there that are well educated, how many degrees they have, how many they need to do in order to get the same position, which one guy can say that I barely finished my high school, and they're getting the same salary. So it's a very interesting topic. I think the more we get the awareness on that, and on school bullying as well, I think what us as the society and communities should do is start with teaching our parents first, because those things we might not even realize when we ourselves make a comment where the child registered that and say, my parents are doing it, so it's fine if I, like, even us, like, oh my God, look at the dress that she's wearing, without really registering that your son or your daughter can be there now, and she thinks that it's fine to judge. And then she doesn't understand that it's not the dress. Next time it's the face, or we all know, no? So it's really, 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 we need to be careful also with our verbiage, what we are using at home in front of our kids, and how we ourselves, I think everybody can say guilty. If we're really, truly honest to ourselves, then there are moments where we feel so frustrated that we want to compare ourselves and feel better, and they say whatever it is, no? so yeah, it's interesting that you brought it out. But what do you think, what the future will bring you personally and professionally?
That's a really interesting question, because I do believe in goals, and what you are seeking is what comes to you if you are really passionate about it. In terms of the future, Ragne, my mission is not just working with women. I'm also working with men to break that silence, because with 50% of the audience just with women, we're not going to be able to bring a change. So I want to encourage more men and women working together to break these predetermined mindsets that we have in the society. Like as you said, growing up, if a society said, well, you're a woman, so you need to be doing all the washing and you need to be cooking and you need to be looking after the home and your children, but he's a man, so he shouldn't be doing all of this and going out. I think men nowadays are so much more open and flexible, and they're working with women to change the mindset. My husband cooks and he does everything around the house, and my future is that from my work perspective, which I'm doing, the humanitarian work, is working together to change these societies and help them think positive. Like you said, oh, and we do it unconsciously. We're guilty of saying, oh, look at what she's wearing. But if we all had to think positive, when we are, when we have to open our mouth, you say something nice about people and you say something nice about things. And that's what our children will learn. And if I say something nice about the society or people, it's a positive energy that I'm sending and emitting. So similarly, I'll keep getting positive energy back. So uh, my focus now is to work more on the spiritual awakening of people. And spiritual, I don't mean religious. I just mean making your inner strength much more stronger so that you can handle any situations, and then working with men and women together to take it forward. And from a corporate world, I'm very, very blessed, Ragnar, with the current position that I am in. And I'm just continuing to innovate and find better ways. So from a futuristic perspective, I would just love to continue to see, what impacts COVID-19 has had on people's behaviors. Do we still think we're going to continue shopping on the high street, or are we more comfortable now going and doing online shopping? So it's monitoring those customer behaviors and trends and giving them the best customer experience is what I'd like to do moving forward.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, that you have been investing in yourself by taking the time to listen to this interview. I hope that you have enjoyed it so far. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, then leave them below the video, and we are going to get back to you. So, Adrija, can you tell me your best recommendation? In other words, your 3 recommendations, how to dominate the decade.
My recommendation for dominating the decade is to be positive. You're thinking, absolutely stay positive, because when life throws lemons at you, make lemonade out of it. Make the most out of life. Make the most out of any situation and circumstances that is thrown at you, because at the end of the day, you will come out stronger and brighter. So continue to stay positive. My second recommendation is do not give up on the hope. Please always continue to have hope, because hope is what is going to take you to that next level. And finally, have the faith and the patience. When it happens, it will happen. Right? Rome was never built in a day. And when the right time comes, loads of doors will open up for you. You will meet people, you will make the right connections, and the right things will happen. But stay patient and have the faith that the right things will happen. Be kind to yourself. Do not beat yourself up by saying, oh, I can't do this and it's never going to happen, because these are the things that will help you dominate. The decade will help you become better in your personal situations as well as any professional situation.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful recommendations. So if someone wants to follow you, if someone wants to contact you, how they can do so?
Oh, please feel free to connect with me on Facebook. I'm there as Adrija Biswas Halling, or you can follow my Adrija Biswas Mrs. India UK Universe page. I'm also on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with me there, and as well as Twitter.
So what would be your final note, something that you want whoever is listening to take from this interview?
My final thing, what I'd ask people to take away from this interview is just be resilient, because I am an example of somebody who is highly educated and who has still gone through really rough times. So I'm saying it can happen to anybody. Any people from any circumstance can go through challenges, but if you believe in yourself, and if you have the confidence, and if you keep that hope that no, someday, and whether it's hope for your children or hope for your parents, make sure you don't give up on that hope. And you will have these challenges in life make you what you are today. And when I look back, I feel if I didn't go through those challenges, I probably wouldn't have been, wiser, stronger, and so on. So please, no matter the challenges that you face in life, there will always be ups and downs. Face them with courage, be resilient. Even if you fail, take it as a stepping stone. Success and failures are two sides of the same coin, and keep the faith. You will be able to make your life beautiful all over again. So please continue to rise and shine again.
Beautiful. I totally agree. The most difficult things in life are where your biggest growth lies in. So so the only thing, if you can't really change the circumstance, you can change your attitude towards it, and also your. Sometimes it's even easier to change your behavior, and by that change your thinking. So sometimes you even need to take action before you really have the courage to think about it. Oh my God, what did I just do? So those moments, and I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to it. When the last drop to the class has fallen down, and it's now overflowing, then no, then you're jumping just your head on. So thank you very much, everybody who had joined us. Adrija, your golden nuggets that you shared with us today. You that you are looking, I hope you made some great notes. If not, go back to this video, have your ready, because I did write down some very good points, and not just to write down, but also take action on them. So by doing that, you will become the hero of your life. But you can also become the hero of someone else's life. How? By sharing this video. Because we never know when there's a person, and especially now when a lot of people are really in a situation that their circumstances do define them, and they don't see the light in the end of the tunnel. So by just doing one click and by sharing, you can literally change someone else's life. So become the hero of your life and someone else's life. I will see you already tomorrow with a new guest. Thank you very much for joining us. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Can I add just one more thing in here?
Yes.
And this has been a motto in my life, is when life throws a dagger at you, you can either choose to hold it by the blade or by the handle. If you hold it by the blade, you'll obviously cut yourself. If you hold it by the handle, you'll probably hurt yourself a little bit, but you can use that as a tool to fight your way forward. And that's how you need to change and transform all of that pain and challenges into that power to move forward in life. So I just wanted to leave that one nugget behind, because you said, be a hero for others as well. So it's not just catching your own knives, but also, teaching others to how they hold their knives when life throws the dagger at you.
Well, I really do hope that those are not the knives, that they are something less dangerous, but I get the idea. So thank you very much. It was
Thank you,
pleasure
everybody. Thank you, Ragnar.
to meet you and pleasure to talk with you. And I'm pretty sure that we will be back here very soon. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank you.
blessed week, and thank you for joining us.